Today we need to talk about the EIDL loan. Now on this channel I made a video over a year ago about how this loan had been mishandled by the SBA. The advances and the advance grants that people were expecting were not panning out to actually be in the amount that we were expecting. And honestly, there hasn't been any real movement on this program until recently. So today I'm going to share with you how you could have access to not only the EIDL loan, but also the targeted advance and the supplemental advance in the amount of hopefully up to $15,000. You're not going to want to miss this. And real quick, before we keep going, don't forget to give this video a like. It really helps with that YouTube algorithm and I appreciate it, so thanks. So you heard right. Take a look right here. You can see this video was dated back in April of 2020, well over a year ago. And I was a little upset in that video because the EIDL grant and advance sounded like a great program. It was going to help a lot of people. But pretty soon everyone realized that the SBA put this program essentially on the back burner. There was other things that the SBA seemed to be prioritizing, like getting PPP money out there. People were asking questions about unemployment and PPP, and the EIDL was something that you could apply for, but not a lot of people were actually getting money. Well, hopefully all of that is about to change. You see, very recently the SBA has began to make some movement on funding the loans and the grants, and there's even news that it is going to open up the program to even more small businesses. As a result, I wanted to show and remind you exactly where you could go to apply, the process of requesting an increase if you've already gotten some funds, and what you can expect with those targeted and supplemental grants, hopefully in the amount of up to $15,000. Okay, I want to take you right directly to the SBA website right now. Take a look. Here's how it looks for the EIDL. Remember, just as an overview, this is a loan program, not to be confused with like the PPP loans. That's a forgivable amount of money if you use it properly. These EIDL loans do have to be repaid. Essentially, you're taking out a 30-year fixed loan with an interest rate of 3.75%. Now, one awesome update is the amount of funding your business can get has increased if you are looking to get one of these loans. Now, again, I just want to make it crystal clear. The EIDL is a disaster loan. And of course, yes, loans do have to be paid back. So please do not confuse this with like a PPP loan that might be forgiven. No matter what, this one can't be forgiven. And if you accept it, it will have to be paid back. Now, the good news is that you have a lot of leeway in what you can use the funds for. Essentially, it's working capital. So if you need to pay rent, if you need to buy supplies, there's a lot of flexibility in using these funds. And a lot of businesses still aren't open up to 100%. And so if you need access to this money, this is something that you're going to want to apply for. Now, of course, many of you have already applied, and as you know, you can actually request a loan increase. I wanted to point out one important part here is that the SBA is still saying that they will reach out to you via email if you are able to request that increase. However, one important thing I wanted to point out for those of you who have already gotten an EIDL is that you do have the opportunity to request an increase up to 2 years from the date where you sign the promissory note. So I just want you to keep in mind that if you've been waiting for the SBA to reach out to you via email, you will still have an opportunity to request a loan increase up to those 2 years from the date when you sign that promissory note. Moving on, let's talk about the targeted EIDL advance. Yes, there is the opportunity, the potential to get up to a $10,000 grant, and this is money that does not need to be paid back. However, I'm sure you're well aware that it is right now only available to low-income community businesses. So essentially your zip code or your address dictates whether or not you can get this money. Now, obviously that seems unfair and frustrating, but the reason I'm making this video is that it seems like this will soon be opened up to the public, maybe sometime in the next few weeks. So I want you to be prepared to either request the grant or get your paperwork in order so that when it is opened up, you have everything you would need to provide the SBA. Also, a small group of people did receive an advance in the amount of, let's say, $1,000. So yes, this also applies to you, where you could get the remaining balance. So for example, if you only got $1,000, you could get an additional $9,000, totaling $10,000. Now, I will keep you up to date on this channel as soon as this is official, but I just wanted to put this on your radar. Next, let's take a look at the supplemental targeted advance. This is an additional $5,000 on top of the $10,000 advance. Now, I just wanted to point out here that completing the targeted EIDL advanced application is a requirement to be considered for the supplemental targeted advance. So if you want to think of it like an upside down triangle, like a funnel, basically you need to apply for the EIDL loan to be considered for the targeted advance. And then down below, you could maybe then be targeted for this supplemental advance. Now, just a couple of the key requirements to be eligible for the supplemental targeted advance is that you're located in a low income community and you can prove more than a 50% economic loss. So again, to all my small business owners out there, I am hopeful that this will open up to more people soon. And again, if you kind of heard whispers of it before, or you were just fed up with the EIDL process, I want you to know that this seems like it's going to be a reality very soon, and I do want you to get ready to apply or request these funds. So what does all this mean for you? If your small business still needs funding, it appears that the advance, the grant, the money that does not need to be paid back will soon open to more small businesses. One of the best ways for you to get in line is to check out a link down below in the description to the SBA website. Remember, you're applying directly with the SBA. This is not like unemployment where you're going to be applying on a state website. There's no lenders involved, like you're not going to a local bank. You should apply directly. There's a very streamlined application, and you simply provide some business information and check a few boxes. But then be prepared to wait at least a few weeks, if not months. Trust me when I say that there have been people waiting since last year for these funds. And just now I'm starting to get messages from different people saying, hey, Rich, I just got the email from the SBA. What do you think I should do? And you know what? This is a very good feeling for these business owners to start to get some of these funds. The process has been slow. The SBA has left the majority of people wondering what's going on. But as steam starts to pick up, you could potentially save your business with some of this money. A couple of key takeaways. The EIDL loan and advance program is something that has changed and morphed since it was announced last year. Some people had got in line right away and were a little upset about the amount of funds they actually got. Slowly, more and more businesses have gotten advances, but it's really been kind of only for a small group of businesses in low-income areas. And from what we hear, that is going to open up to more businesses very soon. Also, keep in mind that the loan itself does need to be paid back. However, the advance of up to $10,000 does not. And then if you can get that additional $5,000, that does not either. Again, I will keep you up to date on this channel and on my website, so be sure to check that out. Also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. All right, as always, I'm Rich, and until next time.